Good morning. So we'll start session 3 on chapter microorganisms, friend and foe. So in our yesterday's class we understood microorganism and us. That is, how are these microorganisms correlated with us? That is, in yesterday's class we understood that how are they useful to us? That means in friend and foe, how are they friend to us? That means they come in use of us. We use microorganisms in various sectors, like you can say commercial purpose, food and beverages. We use in medicinal sector for antibiotics and vaccines. We use it in for soil fertility. We also use it as a scavenger so that they act as a decomposers and decomposes the dead and decayed matter. So we understood how are they useful to us in so many different fields. Now in today's class we will understand how these microorganisms are harmful. That is, how are they in enemy with us. So we'll understand that. So for that we need to first understand classification of the diseases. That means how these microorganisms will transmit diseases through what sources. Before that, let us understand what are the types of disease. In that we will understand that how these microorganisms will actually be a disease causing microbes. So when we talk about a disease, classification of a disease is done in two types: non-communicable disease and communicable disease. The name itself will suggest and give a clear picture that non-communicable disease, the disease which is not communicated from one person to another, is called as non-communicable diseases. Now for example, a person suffering from a diabetes, hypertension, heart attack, asthma, these diseases are not transmitted from one person to another. Suppose if you are there with that person, you sit together, talk together, hang out with a particular person having these diseases, you will not get those diseases from that person because they come under non-communicable diseases. Diseases which do not spread from one person to another are termed as non-communicable diseases. Examples once again, asthma, heart attack, hypertension, diabetes, etc. Communicable diseases. That means diseases which will spread from one person to another, which will transfer from a person to another, are termed under communicable diseases. We all know that. Cold, common cold, fever, some basics are examples I have written here: tuberculosis, cholera, etc. Now in a class, if one has a cold, another person catches cold very easily, right? Those come under communicable diseases. Now in the present scenario, what diseases is going on? That is the pandemic coronavirus. It will also come under communicable diseases. That is being spreading from a person to person. So that comes under communicable diseases. Now when we understood the types of diseases, that is communicable and non-communicable diseases, let us first understand how are these diseases carried. Now non-communicable disease, how are they carried? They are carried out by our different lifestyle or sometimes by our heredity, that we call it as a congenital diseases. We carry it through our genes, or by gradually we get that in our lifetime with our various sedentary lifestyle activities. Non-communicable diseases. In the chapter, we are not discussing anything about non-communicable because these are not caused due to microbes, right? We will be only discussing about communicable diseases. So when we talk about communicable disease, how are these diseases spread? Through what means they are spread? We have to understand that first. Before that, we understand what are carriers. Now, what do you mean by carrier? Something which carries, right? So, insect and animals that carry disease causing microbes and transfer them from one place to another are called as carriers. Insects and animals that carry disease causing microbes and transfer that from one place to another or one person to another are called as carriers. Now what are these carriers can be? This carrier can be air, water, a person itself, insect, animals. These could be the carriers, right? So we'll understand next what are the different ways of spreading diseases, or what are the different modes of diseases, how they are spread through these carriers. So when we talk about different modes of diseases, diseases can be spread from an infected person through air, water, food and physical contact. That means if we have an infected person will also come under carrier, right? As we told, insect animals that carry disease causing microbes. An infected person is also a carrier. Then we have air as a carrier, water as a carrier, food as a carrier. Then insects and animals are also carriers. Contaminated food is also a carrier of, or these are the modes of transferring diseases from person to person or from one place to another. Let's understand the first one. From an infected person through air, water, food and physical contact. I have written an example as here, common cold. Assume that your friend has in your class, your benchmate, the person who sits next to you is suffering from a common cold. Though you don't come in contact with that friend, but still through air, water, that one of your friend is coughing, right? So while coughing or sneezing, the air droplets or the water droplets are into the air, and the same air we breathe. That is how we can contact through water, assuming that we both are sharing the same water bottle. Just an example I am giving you. You are sharing the same food. Physical contact. Now that person has coughed by holding a hand and covered the mouth, right? Now with the same hand the person shook hand with you, or generally. So these things will come or transfer from an infected person to you. So best example I have written common cold. Now when we are talking about the modes of diseases, it doesn't go without saying that coronavirus, that is COVID-19, will also come under this part, from an infected person only. That is how it's been spreading from one person to another, right? We all know that. So that is a best example. So here common cold is an old example what we have written. You can write the present scenario, what's happening and what is going on here. So you know better how it is affected from one person to another. We all wear masks when we go out. Why? In case the air what we breathe, or the next person, some unknown person is coughing, sneezing, those water droplets which are mixed into the air, or we come in contact with that, we should not be getting the diseases. As simple as that. So from infected person through air, water, food and physical contact. I've written one example here. Next, typically by airborne disease, we call sometimes as airborne disease, waterborne disease, food, like similarly airborne diseases which spread through air could be tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox. Diseases which spread through water, waterborne disease can be cholera, typhoid, etc. I have written only two examples everywhere. Diseases which can spread through food, cholera, etc. And through contact, chickenpox. Of course, yes, chickenpox, measles are also come in contact. If you have seen any of you in your school or wherever it is, one of your friend, if it is they are suffering from chickenpox, they don't come to school for about a week or 10 days, right? Because it might transfer from one student to another. So by contact. So these are the examples how from infected person, or which are the vectors here through which the diseases are transferred. Next, we'll check with insects and animals. How insects and animals act as a carrier of these diseases. We first understand with insect. Malaria is caused by an insect, that is, we only know mosquitoes cause malaria, mosquitoes cause dengue, right? But which typical mosquito causes that? It is the female. It is not caused, if by chance, if male mosquito bites, we don't get dengue nor malaria. It is always the female Anopheles mosquitoes causes malaria. Female Aedes mosquitoes causes dengue. So these insects cause these diseases. They are the carrier of those diseases. Next, I have written Apart from the insect like cholera, dysentery, typhoid, these diseases are also the carrier through a housefly. Housefly also carries these diseases, right? Now what happens actually? Housefly will go sit. You've seen housefly? We feel it's the safest way? No, because housefly goes, sits on a garbage, sits on some other place. The same housefly will come, sit on your food what we eat. It gets infected. So cholera, dysentery, typhoid, etc. are the carriers of housefly what we get. Next, animals when we have written, we all know rabies. It is by dog bite or also sometimes by monkey bite also. Then we get through rat bite, we get fever. So these are insects and animals, how they carry these diseases. Last I have written something as a contaminated food, right? So contaminated food causes food poisoning. So sometimes we get food poisoning can be severe or can be mild also. Sometimes very mild can be treated at home or we go to a doctor. The food poisoning quite being serious sometimes is a life-taking disease also there. So these is caused by food contamination. Now how can food be contaminated? If the food is stale or if the food is infected by some of the microbes or microorganisms, or accidentally the food has come in contact with some animals, say rat, lizard or something like that, or we consume some food which the date or the packing date is being expired. So such all things will come under contaminated food which causes food poisoning. So now we understood here how are these microorganisms harmful to us. That is, which are the different carriers through which we get the diseases. But we did not understand which microorganism causes what diseases. Now here what all we have written, right from common cold, measles, tuberculosis, chickenpox, dengue. Okay, dengue we understood here. Then other things, what all diseases we have written, we did not understand that which microbe is causing. We understood through infected person, carriers we understood. Either these are caused by bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungi. We have not understood that, right? We only understood about what are the modes these diseases can spread. Now, in the next tabular column, we will understand that viruses can spread what type of diseases, bacteria can cause what type of diseases, fungi, protozoa, etc. can cause which of these diseases, right? We'll see that in the next tabular column. So now we will see different diseases and what are the modes of transmission we have understood, but what are the positive microorganisms causing this disease, we will understand that. So we have all understood about we have come across in the previous part, tuberculosis, cholera, measles, chickenpox, polio, hepatitis, malaria, etc. Right? So tuberculosis is caused by bacteria. Mode of transmission is air. Cholera is again caused by bacteria. Mode of transmission, water and food. Measles is a viral disease caused by virus, that is air. Now here we only understand that these are viral and these are bacterial. Which actual virus or which actual bacteria is causing, we need not know that. Measles caused by virus, mode of transmission is air. Chickenpox, virus again, mode of transmission is air and contact. Polio is again a virus, air and water. Hepatitis, it's a viral disease caused by virus, mode of transmission is water. Malaria is a protozoan. When it comes in insects and something, we call that as a protozoan. So, mode of transmission is mosquitoes. Now, this are about human diseases. Now, as human, plants and animals are also infected by a disease. Now, one of the students had actually asked me a question on first session, like when we discussed about different microorganisms and different, in that we had bacteria, virus, yeast, fungi, protozoan, right? And we discussed the last part on virus. So, as we told that virus is live or active only inside a host body. It is able to reproduce and its life cycle will start only once it enters the host living body. When it is outside, it is a dead virus, or it is dead, it is of no use, right? It cannot create a life cycle when it is outside. The question was, what student asked me, now as virus enters a host body, is that host body is only of a human being, or it is an animal, or it can be any other microbes? Her question was actually, what if a virus is entering a bacteria or any other microbes? It can be even plants, it can be animals. How is it affecting them, or it is not affecting them? Now the thing is, there are some viruses which will affect the living organism, a particular living organism only. Now for example, if I take the present coronavirus, is that virus affecting animals, or is that virus affecting plants, or are those viruses affecting any other microbes? The question is no, right? Because it was clearly being stated in the beginning, right? These viruses are not affected, or these viruses do not affect the animals or the pet animals what we have at home. Otherwise, that could be one of the most dangerous signs, because pet animals at home we can even take care. But what about the stray dogs, cats or cows, anything which are outside? That could be a danger sign for us, right? But these viruses are not affected by these animals, or probably when these viruses enter those host body, say it can be other plants, animals, or any small creature or any small microbes, these viruses cannot multiply. It requires a particular host body only to multiply, so that it can live and it can reproduce or create a new life cycle of that particular virus. So the answer to the question is, viruses entering any body need not be active. It can only be active if it is targeting the particular host body only. Now for example, how we understood about these viruses, we understood tuberculosis virus, tuberculosis is caused due to a microorganism, bacteria, or measles are caused due to the virus, a type of virus. But the same virus entering an animal body will not create any measles. This virus entering a plant body will not create any measles. You're getting my point? It has to target a particular host body only to create the life cycle, or to reproduce in the further life cycle of the particular virus. Yes, we'll move on to the next one. Animal disease. Same as human beings or human disease, animals are also affected by this bacteria or viruses. How? Now anthrax is a type of a disease caused in basically sheep and cattle. What we say? By a bacteria. It causes anthrax. They get even several viral diseases. They get foot and mouth diseases through virus. It's enough of this information if you know. Now, the same disease are not caused here, or these diseases are not caused. That means we come to a point that they do not share the common diseases. That means the virus entering their body or this body here will not be the same. Plant disease. Citrus canker is a type of a disease caused in plants. Now, when I say citrus canker, that means it is caused in basically citrus fruits, right? So that is caused by bacteria. Mode of transmission is through air in plants. Rust of wheat is caused by fungi. It is through air and through seeds. Rust of wheat means a disease is caused in wheat. We call that as a rust of wheat. Yellow vein mosaic. It is only caused in bhindi, okra. That is by virus, and that is caused by insect. Now again, this is a viral disease, right? This virus cannot affect animal, nor it can affect human beings. So you got my point? The virus entering the plant body will start becoming active, and it causes a disease called in bhindi only, that is in okra only. This disease can't be causing in wheat, nor this disease will not cause in potatoes, nor it can cause in beans, right? Particularly, this virus is affecting only bhindi, means that virus, when it enters a bhindi's body, that is okra's body, it is able to reproduce, multiply and generate a life cycle. Yes. So there we understood different diseases, we understood their mode of transmission, and we also understood that what are the different causative microorganisms causing these diseases. We should also know what are the modes of prevention of these diseases. Now, general modes of prevention could be here, keep your place hygiene, eat good food, eat nutritious food, see that the food what you have eaten is covered, it is not open to or it is not exposed to the outside environment for a longer period of time, keep your surroundings clean, basic general awareness what we can tell here. Apart from that, take vaccines on regular intervals of time. Now, as we have told, for all these diseases, there will be a particular age factor to take the vaccines, right? So, once that age crosses, this vaccine do not work. Probably or most tentatively, up to an age of say 5 years, the vaccines are helpful. Then, in case we come in contact with any of the things, we go to a doctor, we take precautionary measures, we take antibiotics to fight against these diseases, as already discussed in the previous classes. Now, when we talk about animals and plants, what do? If we are rearing those animals, if we have a pet animals or something, if those animals come in contact with this disease, it's our duty to take care of them, take to a animal doctor or veterinary doctor, make sure that they are getting cured. Now, plants, when we talk about, what best we can do here is, so we can use pesticides, weedicides, depending on the plant disease they are getting. So this is about how these microorganisms are harmful to us. That is, we understood the second part, that is how are they foe, that is enemy to us, right? So in the next class we will understand how we have to preserve our food. Now, when we understood that we can get diseases from air, water, this, how are we supposed to preserve our food so that these microbes do not attack the food? There are different modes of preserving the food, chemical method as well as physical method. We'll be doing that in our next class. So in today's class, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video set.